Hello and welcome to this Jane's Weather Update. It is a Friday, the 26th of July, and as usual, there's a lot going on. Let's unpack it all. We do have a bit of a cloud band. Now, I'm saying cloud band because there's not a lot of rain that is falling from this one so far. There's this little bit in behind it, and there's a fair bit of activity that's over here. Now, this bit here will continue for the next couple of days, so there's more to come from this one, but otherwise, there have been some decent totals just to the western side of the ranges there, less as you move through the east coast. Across the south, we've got this is the next big system that is moving through, and I really want to point out just how speckled the cloud is in behind this and how big that area is that's coming up. Now, what does that mean? Why do we care about speckled cloud? It has got some very cold, punchy air in behind that, and so all of that is headed for the southeast. It's going to be a very interesting weekend. Over in the west, there's a little bit of activity at the tail end of this one, and of course, there is another system brewing. Okay, so let's go and take a look here. On our map, we've got this cold front. It's got a cut-off low in through here. All of this is going to move into the southeast. This here, there is a split between the high pressure systems. I always say, where are the highs? Look for the split. Do we have access to tropical moisture? Yes, we do, because they have split there. So that's why we do have that cloud band that is coming in. In behind it, there is another system in through here and a high, but there's going to be lots of systems come across the southwest there. Having a look at the 8-day rain outlook, which includes today, we've got this bit in through here, which is moving through today, Saturday, Sunday. We've got that there. But otherwise, there's not a lot falling from that cloud band that's moving in. It's very light. Across the south, let's just have a look at these parts here. Have a look how far north it extends over in the west and how far it doesn't really extend over here in the southeast. So that means the systems are peaking over in the west. That is still happening because high pressure is still having a dominant influence over the southeast. We'll walk through that in a second. So you'll see it's coming into these coastal parts. It's really not extending far inland. It goes up into the ranges and it goes to the western parts of Tasmania. So that's our systems that are coming in from the west. Having a look over here, though, there is something happening over in the Tasman Sea. We've got another low pressure system that is going to sit over there for an extended period of time. In behind that is all of that cold air, the speckled cloud that I was talking about, and that is going to miss Tasmania this time, but it is going to hit eastern parts of Gippsland there in Victoria, and it's just a very coastal fringe thing here. The low nowhere near the coast, so it's just the coastal fringe that sees that wet weather. That's the wet weather part of that equation. The cold air is going to extend it right up into here once again. Okay. So let's have a look day by day just to really unpack that. Day one here we have, which is Friday. So we've got this activity here. We've got our big system that's rolling across in through these parts here. And there's not much happening from that cloud band. Heading into Saturday, it does see a bit more as it comes into the east here. This is continuing. We've got this moving across the southeast. I'm not going to call it a juicy system because it really doesn't extend anywhere inland, but it's got that cold air with it. Bit of a break over in the southwest. And into day 3, which is Sunday, here we still have this moving in through here. We've got this one coming out and the low developing over the Tasman Sea. Another big system coming into the southwest. Monday, there goes that system in through here. Here's our Tasman Sea influence, and meanwhile this one is now moving away. However, something is brewing in through here. We can have a look at day 5, which is Tuesday. This and this. Here is our coastal, only the coastal fringe. And then heading into next week, this is going to be a bit of a feature coming in through here. We've just got our coastal activity there. Otherwise, high pressure is in the way. Okay, so as the week as a whole, how is that looking? You'll see, first of all, there is a lot of blue over the eastern states on this map. This is how much a comparison to average, is it warmer or cooler than average? Here we have the week beginning Monday, the 29th. And so this means, yep, another low pressure system sitting here, cold air being pushed into the eastern states. Warmth here out ahead of systems that are coming into the southwest. Okay, having a look at the rain to do with that. This one here, because it is moving all in through these parts here. The Euro model in particular really likes a connection from the tropics to those systems moving through here coming in, but not making it to the east thanks to that blocking high. You'll notice these are all very brown in through here now, but the coastal fringe from that low that is well off the coast. All right, having a look further ahead. So this is into week 2, which begins on the 5th of August. We do have a warm up here, so it's not like that one that lasted 2.5 weeks. It had that chill that was never ending. We do have a warm up by week 2. We've got some colder temperatures coming in through here. Having a look at the rain associated with this. Okay, so we've got this happening here. Maybe this does make it into the east. So looks like mid next week we'll have a big system brewing. We've got a bit of tropical moisture coming in, a big system from the west. Maybe it forms into a cut-off low. As soon as it's a cut-off low, it can meander slowly and deliver more rain to those in its path. But having a look at this, it looks like the southeast is missing out, and this one is more of an inland system as it moves through. So that's something to keep an eye on for week 2, which begins on Monday, the 5th of August. If we want to look further ahead, let's take a look. So here we have, beginning the 12th of August, there is rainfall pattern in through here. Having a look at the next one, we've got the 19th of August, more of a very southern pattern coming through. Having a look at the week beginning the 26th of August, the end of August, again a southerly pattern. And there's one more to have a look at there, again a southerly pattern. So that's a bit of a heads up for what might happen in the weeks ahead. Having a look at Sam, we've got that big cold front over the Bight there at the moment. It's got that cold air in behind it. Yes, we are in strong front territory. That's where we are at the moment. We know that the forecast for this always goes back to neutral. Having a look at the MJO, I talked about that connection to the tropics. This shows us that, yes, while we do have a connection, it's not very strong. It's not delivering much of that juicy tropical moisture that we need to really fuel those systems. So that is why, I'll just scroll back up here on the rainfall here, that these totals here aren't very large. However, we're looking at that one connecting in through here. Is that going to be able to do anything? Heading back to MJO. That's sort of as we're heading over here. So that indicates that we might have a good connection, but it won't be overly moisture laden. So that's something to keep an eye on. Heading into sea surface temperature anomaly, how much warmer or cooler than average it is, and the box over in the Indian Ocean. Look how much that has changed in the past month or two. That is rapidly developing blue. In fact, if you compare this one to this one here, I think there may almost be more blue over in that Indian Ocean box than what we're seeing in through here. The Pacific, a very, very slow change. It stalled, now it's sort of coming back a little bit, but very, very slowly moving. The Indian Ocean box on fire. That one, not in terms of warmth, but it is moving quickly. We're really, really rapidly seeing those blue signs there develop. Now, what does that mean? We're also seeing a little bit that is off the coast here, but generally all of this here is warm. We're starting to see more cool over here. That creates an imbalance that helps push that moisture from the Indian Ocean. Over in the Pacific Ocean, more blues out through here. That used to be completely yellow. Now we're seeing the blue coming in. We've got warm water off Queensland here. Again, an imbalance that helps push the moisture from the Pacific Ocean into Australia. So both of these things are heading that direction that we're going to have lots and lots of tropical moisture to play with. If that can connect with our low pressure systems, then that delivers us rain. All right. Nino, this is the Pacific one here. My techs have finally put a title on this page for us, so we know exactly what we're looking at now, and our logo as well. Helpful. Here we were in our strong El Nino, which was last year into the beginning of this year. Now we're moving through neutral territory. We're starting to see those blues develop in that box. Every model has it going down here. However, these two do not have it crossing the threshold. 1, 2, 3, 4 do have it crossing the threshold. 1, 2 by September. We've got our third one coming in just into September, October. The last one waits until about October to get there. However, that used to be November, so that one has moved forward. So all of that, as we're heading to spring, suggesting lovely moisture coming in from the Pacific Ocean to help fuel our rain systems. This one heading in this direction, these two staying completely neutral. All right, heading over into the Indian Ocean, our Indian Ocean index. This one has been bobbing around. We were in a positive Indian Ocean dipole. Almost, not technically, it was short 1 week. It didn't quite make it there. Now, rapidly heading in this direction. Look how close it is to that threshold now in terms of the difference between how much cool water is out there and how much warm water is over on our side. This model was the first one to pick it, and it still thinks we're heading right down into here, into negative Indian Ocean dipole territory as we go through spring turns on the tap from the Indian Ocean. These models, they update once a month. It's around the 11th or 12th, so tune in about 2 weeks and we'll have an update on what these guys are doing. Still having that, everything was thinking it was going to be a positive IOD, and so all of this has still got that hangover from that, but in the long term, they're also heading down in this direction. Now, this guy doesn't like it, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 models that are crossing that threshold as we go through spring there. So 4 out of 5 is a pretty good sign, and what we're seeing happening rapidly in that Indian Ocean box. All right, let's have a look at some forecasts. So janesweather.com, this is where we go. I've picked Sydney, first of all. There is that precipitation moving through there at the moment. So let's have a look at this one here. We've got this coming in. You can see there's a clearing trend as we go through today. So just an hour or 2 of that one left, and then a lovely sunny afternoon is on the way. However, looking through here, it's about to get very, very dreary in Sydney. Why? We talked about that cold air coming up. We talked about the low that is over the Tasman Sea. We talked about it being very well out to sea, but it does affect that coastal fringe, and that does include Sydney. And this is an idea of what's going to happen further south as well. So let's just jump through in time into Saturday. A bit more wet weather with that inland system coming in. Sunday, glorious. Monday, lovely until it starts to change. And then particularly Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, it's cold and it is wet, and we'll even have some gusty winds with it, which is just lovely. So that's what's in store for Sydney as we move forward. Having a look at Mount Dandenong. Why have I chosen this one? I talked about the cold speckled cloud that is over the bight that is heading to the southeast, and I just wanted to have a bit of a show of what's happening with our snow level, so you can see it in action here. Mount Dandenong, just to the east of Melbourne. It's the closest place that if we've got low level snow that you would go and have a look at that. It's about 600 metres in elevation. Okay, so today there is sunshine, and Melbournians are going to enjoy this with what's coming over the weekend. Here we have a northerly wind, but let's jump forward. Snow level sitting up around 1,700 metres at the moment. Mount Dandenong, 600 metres. Cold air, we know, speckled, coming in on as we move into Saturday. So here's our wet weather as we go through Saturday afternoon, late morning, afternoon, and into the evening, and temperatures rapidly dropping. Now, this red line here, that's our AI forecast. So it has learnt from conditions at that weather station that is at the top of Mount Dandenong. It's a bureau station. It has learnt from everything that happened last year and everything that's happened so far this year. Now, it didn't actually snow. It didn't quite make it there on Mount Dandenong last year, so it hasn't seen those sort of conditions in action. So this one isn't quite going down to that critical level we need to actually make snow happen. But let's expand this out and have a look at what all the different guidance is saying. And you can see here that we've got these guys going very quickly down, very, very quickly down to 0 as we go into the early hours of Sunday morning. Now, let me go back here. 1,000 metres by 5 p.m. Let's move forward. 900 metres, 8, 7, 6. There we go. Low level snow is possible from 9 p.m. according to the average of the models. And we've got 500 metres as we go through the night. And then it starts to retreat back up again as we go through the morning on Sunday. So there is the chance of some low level snow around the hills of Melbourne, Mount Macedon, Mount Dandenong. Mount Macedon is 1,000 metres, so they might get something if there's still wet weather coming through when the cold air arrives. They're in the west, so they can miss out. But this one here shows that one model, yes, snow, 0.4 centimetres. We could get a little bit on Mount Dandenong. Okay, let's also have a look at something exciting that's happened this morning. We've changed providers if you have a weather underground station. And now our observations are coming through a lot faster. It's currently 10:04 as I'm recording this. I'll just refresh and see what it says. These used to come through. It used to turn off. It was a little bit relaxed. Anyway, it's generally every... Okay, great. Before it was every 15 minutes. Now we've got 9:34 and it's 10:05. So I have just completely shown you something that doesn't work with what I was about to say. Anyway, it got turned on at about 8 o'clock this morning, and it's generally been every 15 minutes that it comes through. So let's hope we can keep coming with those sort of observations there. Okay, so if you haven't been to the Now tab at janesweather.com, go and check out the observations for your spot. If you need to set up a weather station, it's very easy. Just come in here, add the station, connect my current station. You've got a little help thing here to say we've got 15 different providers that we have set up and worked out how to get those observations through. We just need this data from you, which you should have fairly ready. If you need a weather underground one, done. It's very simple. Just go and grab your API key and what the station is called, and we'll set it up in the next day. And you just hit save changes. It'll say pending, and then it'll be ready when it's ready to go. I'll see you next week. Bye.